sturdy women, welcome back. I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're feeling good in your body. Today, I want to talk about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and that's ways to measure progress that are not weight. Maybe you've started keto or paleo or the RAD diet recently, and you are really anxious to see if it's going to work for you. Maybe you've started walking or swimming or using a vibration plate, and you want to know if that's working for you. One thing that we so often, especially as women, are conditioned to do is step on the scale and use that as a metric to see, hey, is this working for me? And seeing that number go down equals success. Well, has that ever worked for you as a sturdy woman, as a lymphedema woman? I don't know about you. I'm guessing you're in the same boat as me, which is that damn thing is a liar. It does not give great information, right? So today I want to talk about some other strategies that have worked really well for me. And spoiler alert, I don't weigh myself very often. And I wasn't even weighing myself when I started my journey. I'll explain all of that to you in today's video. Do make sure you stick around until the end, though. I'm going to do something that I never thought I would do, which is show my progress photos that I took almost every month for the last 2.5 years. So stick around for that. But before we get into today's video, I want to say a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. Welcome to our community. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click below, and then make sure that you click the bell so that you get a notification each week when I post a new Sturdy Woman video. And then if today's content or anything else on the channel is helpful to you, please do like and share so that we can reach more women and give them hope and help on their journey. So I'm gonna let you in on a secret today, which is when I started keto, I didn't actually know how much I weighed. I've said in other videos I've lost 140 pounds. That's true, but I don't know if that's the exact number because I don't know what the exact number was when I started. I had stopped weighing myself at least a year, probably more, since before I started keto. I didn't own a scale. When I went to the doctor, I would let them take my weight, but I would get on the scale backwards so that I could not see the numbers, and then I would ask the nurse to just quietly write it down, not to read it out to me, because that was just not something that I was going to find helpful in my journey. And I never had any pushback or problem with that. But when I did become curious if I had lost weight, how much weight maybe I had lost, I had to call my doctor and say, like, hey, like, what's the last weight you have written down for me? And it was like 6 to 9 months before I started keto. So I don't actually know what my weight was when I started keto, but I do know I was wearing a size 22, 24, and I know the weight that my doctor had for me. I almost didn't start keto because I was so afraid of quote unquote failing. Can you resonate with that? That you've tried so many things that haven't worked and you just don't want to feel like you're failing again? Yeah, I think a lot of us have been there. So when I started, I committed to doing it for minimum a month. I said I'm going to do it for a month, see how I feel, see, what I think. I did not weigh when I started, did not weigh throughout that month, did not even buy a scale until 3 or 4 months in. And I remember almost having a panic attack in the aisle at Target at the thought that I was even going to buy a scale. I almost just walked out. I bought one, but I promised myself I would return it the next day if I changed my mind. What did I do instead? So I took pictures, and this is also going to help you just get down with your body, which you probably need to do anyway. But I took pictures, and I took pictures in my underwear. because that's how you're gonna see, that's like, you gotta see your body. Do what's comfortable for you, but that's how you're really going to be able to see some of the changes, especially in your lipedema legs. So take pictures, and if you stick around till the end, I will show you mine, which I never thought I would do. And then take measurements, like these kind of measurements, like with a measuring tape. This costs like $1. Get one of these and measure yourself. I mean, this is going to give you the same sort of data as like your clothes changing, right? Are your clothes getting looser? It's harder to tell these days because they put so much like spandex in our clothes that they kind of, you know, are stretchy. But if you take measurements, it's really going to help you see, is your body changing? Because let me tell you, you can have healing and change in your body, but not see it on the scale. I'm going to say that again. You can have healing and change in your body and not see it on the scale. That's why it's so important that even if you use that as a data point, do not let it be your only data point when you are deciding whether or not something is working for you. So you can take pictures, you can take measurements with a measuring tape. If you're doing keto, something else that I do recommend, just as you're learning about your body, is to test your ketones. And so here's my blood glucose ketone meter. I use Keto Mojo. It's really affordable. This meter will do both. So you can test your blood sugar and test your ketones. So this is I do this like mostly now just when I'm fasting, because I'm curious, you know, am I getting towards autophagy levels? But when you're starting on keto, it can help you see how your body reacts to different foods. And over the years, I've been using this for about 2 years. It's helped me get attuned to knowing where my body is. For example, I can feel, if I'm feeling kind of like hungry and grouchy and tired, I know my blood sugar is running a little bit high. Maybe I would benefit from going for a walk. I also can feel when my ketones are really high because I feel amazing. And so taking those sorts of measurements is going to help you see how you're responding to different foods, where you are in your ketosis, if you're even in ketosis. Let me tell you, you will feel it when you start getting there. You will feel different and better in your body. And you're just going to, I don't know, better understand what's going on and what's working for you and what's not working for you. One last point that I want to make about weight is that BMI in and of itself, I actually started researching the history of BMI because I was working on a piece of writing about body image. BMI was historically created on data exclusively from white men. So if you are not a white man, BMI isn't an accurate representation of your body. Okay, so soak that in. Secondly, it was never designed and developed to be an individual diagnostic tool for individual people's health. It was supposed to tell you about demographics across a large group of people, across an entire population, not to diagnose individual specific people, even individual specific white men. Okay, so before you fixate on BMI, get really worried about your weight, just keep that in mind. Just like so many other things in the world, there is unintentional bias built into the tool. There's just a lot to unpack. And so if you want to use it as a data point, use it as one data point among many. That's that. that's my rant on that. So before I show you my pictures, if you're interested in the glucose meter, I'm going to put a link below to the one that I have so that you can see what that is. And again, I've been using that for 2 years. But here you go. Here are my pictures from my journey. And again, I never thought I would share these, but I hope that it gives you the bravery to even do it quietly for yourself, in the privacy of your own home, thinking like me that no one will ever see it. If you want more information about me or my journey or just in general, I've got lots of things for sturdy women over at sturdywoman.com. I'd love to see you there.